All these other things are distractions, the shiny things on there. And I know to grow and expand, I have to stack cash. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast, very good episode for you today. I'm going to give you some perspective. I'm going to drop some nuggets. We have a great closing thought of the episode. Listen to it all. Give me feedback. This is what we do. The Ultimate OD Podcast, here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. Thank you for tuning in, listening, the likes, the emails. Keep sending them my way. I love hearing from you guys and growing the podcast, growing our offices. March Madness is going on right now. My bracket still slightly intact. We have the end of Saturday and then Sunday to go. So I'm not holding my breath. I'm usually done by the end of the weekend, but it's a good time. So some cool things have happened at the office the past few weeks is my niece is going to Ferris, and she's planning on, after her first semester, doing the early admission program to Michigan College of Optometry, which is really cool. And then about a year ago, I had a student, friend of the family, send me an email saying, hey, my daughter's interested in medicine. She wanted to get into a doctor's office. Couldn't get in any other doctor's office on break. Do you mind if she comes and shadows you at your office? And I said, sure. Came in and I had her shadow at my office. And what I've found is these students like the medical side. They want to be medical doctors. They don't want to run a private practice, which is fine. But I had her come in, shadow, and showed her a bunch of the cool stuff with the OCT, retinal photos, just explain the medical side of what we do and really planted a seed. She thought she was going to go into neurology, neuroscience, told her about the Huberman lab, thought it was just cool stuff. And just got an email today saying that she's applying to Michigan College of Optometry. She just had a interview for the early admission program and going to pursue optometry, which I think is really awesome. In addition, I had career day at Allendale High School, my alma mater, where I graduated from, and talked to a bunch of students. Whether anything I said resonated, I don't know, but it's really cool that what we do, there's students, kids, that look at us and would love to be in our position. Whether you have a practice, whether you are an optometry school, or you're just a practicing OD, we forget how cool it is, how many people would love to be where we're at. And I think that perspective is really stinking cool to have. Know that we have the ability to help shape the direction of their lives. I'm pro optometry. I will be. I think that there's nothing but good things ahead for us. And we have people that want to do what we're doing. Which leads me to the topic of the day, which is, how do you stay motivated? How do you keep going? And at the end of my run at my old office, when it was just me by myself, I was incredibly bored. We had a great income coming in, and I'd try all kinds of new things. I got really focused. The dry eye aspect is something that I really liked. And then chaos ensued over the next 6 months to a year as I, had to design the new office, had to bring on another associate, had to add staff members, and there was a lot of uncertainty. I looked at where my payroll was and where it was going to be, what my overhead was and where it was going to be, and I was bleeding money constantly. It was a really, you go from being comfortable to uncomfortable. And you only grow with pain. You only grow when you're uncomfortable and pushing yourself. And that's kind of where I was. And I got to this next phase, and we started in October, got my bearings, and we've had a great first quarter. We are kicking butt, taking names, cash flow's coming in. We can definitely improve, but all signs are trending towards positive. Where I want to be, where I want to go, where I expect us to be, it's going in the right direction. I feel like staff morale is pretty good. The associate doctor and myself have a great game plan. We work awesome together. It's a good place to be. But now I know I'm bored because I'm starting to the things that I tend to do when I'm bored is like, hey, what else can I do? Do I want to coach football? Do I want to mentor, students? And why does this happen? Because the key to success, the key to breaking through that next wall, to getting where I need to be, is don't do something stupid, right? Don't get bored and buy a $100,000 piece of equipment that you have no intention or passion to do. You get bored and start meddling with things and just start tinkering. That is my biggest weakness. Is I get going, I'm like, all right, we gotta do something new here. We gotta change things up. But 13 years in, I'll tell you this: I have a vision. I know where I want to go. So we've talked in numerous episodes previously. What is your vision? What are you here to do? What do you stand for? Right? I have that vision. And I'm staying the course. The hard part is the discipline part of me has to just stay the course, keep grinding away day after day after day. Now, I've adjusted my schedule a little bit. I get out a little bit earlier, Tuesday through Thursday, leaning on my associate to see patients, do what she does. And now that we've got this figured out, I have a lot more confidence in her. It was harder to do early on because I had to pay the bills. I had to make sure she was producing, and we had a learning curve. She's doing great right now. So now I have some freedom. And I have to steer the ship and guide us where we want to go. And I'll tell you this right now. I know where I'm going. I have a game plan. I have a marketing plan. We're exactly where we need to be. But don't be stupid and steer us in the wrong direction. Don't get out of whack and say, hey, we need to buy a bunch of stuff that kills your overhead, right? Know what pays the bills, and we are staying true to our principles. When we have office meetings, we talk about our core competency. When I'm talking to the opticians, this is what we do well. We have the same focus, same tenacity, and just go after it day after day after day. Grow our core. Dry eye, ocular health and wellness, and optical. Not overly sexy, but it's what we do and it's what grows the practice. And optimize that part. Now, as I go to the next level, I love that I have other doctors that I've planted seeds with that I hope come and ask me, like, hey, we want to work with you in the future. It is much easier to have someone else push you, right? To see what other people are doing or work for someone and have them say, hey, this is the route we're going. And you just, all right, follow suit and go, right? It is really hard to put yourself in that place of discomfort. The past year of getting to this point was hard on me, and I knew what to expect. I've done it a couple of times, right? But now that it's getting comfortable again, I have to fight my boredom and doing something stupid, but now I'm getting comfortable again. We got the cash flow coming in. We can bank stuff. I can start planning for the future as we do stuff around my personal life. Like, hey, there's addition I want to put on the house. So eventually I want to get a pool, right? I want to get into another revenue stream. I want to have a real estate property, a rental property, right? But what got me here? And that's optometry. That's the business I know, and that's what I'm good at, right? All these other things are distractions, the shiny things on there. And I know to grow and expand, I have to stack cash, right? It's really easy to have this conversation, to go to my P3 meetings, talk to my mentors and my peers, be like, hey, this is the next step. I want to grow the practice. I want to have multiple doors, right? Really easy to say, very hard to do. I wish I could have a practice where I could have 10 doctors under one roof, one location. That is my ultimate dream. It's the easiest way to have a huge, amazing office. Marty Carroll. That's what he did in Cheyenne, right? Oh, I wish I would have had a bigger pond to fish in. I think at a certain point, I might be able to add another doctor because I'm working part-time. The other associate works part-time. I think we could have 2 full-time gung-ho doctors, 3 part-times, and me pulling back a little bit. I see that in the future. That's the next step, but that's not as big as I want to be. Going to multiple locations is another beast. And that's the biggest thing I need to educate myself on, prepare myself for, stack cash away for in the future, because that's the next mountain to climb, right? I am in a better position because I know, in theory, what I have to do. It's just putting the pieces together, building the infrastructure, right? And that's hard to do because in my current location, I don't have the infrastructure to grow and expand. My current situation works predominantly because I'm there most of the time. Okay? Again, it's delegation, it's growing, and I love that, but that's what I'm fighting with. That's the boredom that I'm going with. And I know I'm not uber motivated right now because I don't have the cash, I don't have the opportunity, I don't have the things I need, but I'm not overly pushing that. I'm kind of in the state of like, hey, let's just build this thing here now. Where if I was the true prototypical entrepreneur, I would already be thinking about that next step. And I am entrepreneurial from an OD perspective, but I am not that outside of optometry, the consummate entrepreneur. Like I have that in my blood, but not to that same level. I'm not already thinking about the next one. I mean, I am, but I'm not making moves to make that happen just yet. I can only over leverage myself to a certain point, but I know myself, right? And these are things that as you listen to me, I suggest you do. Have a vision. Know your core competency. Know where you want to go and what you want out of life. And that's the balance that I'm trying to do. And balance. Oh my goodness. My friends, if you know who I am extreme to a T. Like when I wanted to start lifting weights and get into it, I was going to gain 20 pounds. And I just bulked, ate so much food, gained like 20 pounds, but half of it was fat, right? Bad move. I wanted to lift weights. And I'm like, I'm not just going to go and lift weights and get to the gym. I'm going to do a powerlifting meet like an idiot at 41 years old, right? Did it. Great. I can't maintain that. I find myself like getting so unbalanced that when you go extreme in any direction, it's not healthy. The most extreme athletes, that's not health long term. They have a shorter lifespan. They have more injuries. It's short lived. Longevity is a balance, right? Diet wise. I'm gonna go keto. And went hard. I was, not that you guys care. Like keto is like 50 or less carbs a day, right? And I'm like, carbs are killing me. I need to get rid of my insulin resistance and I need to just drop carbs altogether. I was eating about 150 a day. And over the course of like a week to a week and a half, I went down to like 20 carbs, hit the keto flu, kicked my butt. Like keto flu is where your body is like not getting enough glucose and has to work off ketones. And if you do it too quickly, it feels like you have the flu. I was in severe pain. Like my body was aching. Bad headaches, hurt to move my eyes. It took me like a week to get back. And I'm like, I did this to myself. I just started pounding sugar, pounding honey. Like, what can I do? I will never give up a carb if that's what it takes to not feel that way again, right? So again, extreme is not my best life, but it's what I do. It's how I got to where I'm at right now. And that's the hard part. Because my gut instinct to go where I want to be is I have to go all in. But I know the stress that puts on my life. I know the things I want to do with my family, and it doesn't allow me to do it. So I'm trying to have balance. That's why I think one of the best things I've done in the past year and a half is join P3 with Perk. Whether you're Vision Source, P3, choose your flavor. But having a group of like-minded individuals that are trying to do what you want to do, or having mentors that are where you want to be. Because if it wasn't for them, I would be going just extreme. But I've surrounded myself with people that have worked with, or are working with, or are at where I want to be. And it keeps me from doing stupid things, right? It's one thing to listen to this podcast on a weekly basis. It is a completely another thing to actually follow through with the advice I give you, right? There's no real accountability between you and me When I listen to podcasts, there's no real accountability. If you listen to information and it doesn't force you to make a change, you didn't learn anything, right? What you merely did was entertain yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love entertaining myself. Look at the podcasts I listen to. Look at the books that I read, right? But if you do that and you don't have a change in some way, shape, or form, you didn't learn anything, right? And that's what I'm trying to convey to you. That's the pearl that you should take away from this episode is have your vision, know your core competency, don't do anything stupid, stay the course, but have people around you that can help you get to where you want to be. Those students that were coming in and talking to me, I can help them tremendously. I've walked the path they're on. I've lived that life, and I did a lot of stupid things and ended up where I'm at. I can give them perspective. That's the same thing that happens when I talk to those big dogs that I want to be. How do I get there? How do I do it all? How do I balance? It's going to be a weird conversation when I go to the next meeting because it's how do I have the life I want but still have the business ambition that I have? You know, I have ideas, but there's people doing it right now. And if I can pick their brain, if they're kind enough to share that information with me, I'd be stupid not to gather it. You'd be stupid not to do the same. Reach out to me. I love to talk about optometry. I love to share where I'm at. I'll be a great example or a horrible warning. I'll tell you straight up what I've done, what worked, what didn't, and you can take that and hopefully it changes what you do enough that you learn something. And you don't make the mistakes I did, or you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It happens easier. But that's what I have for you. We'll have more for you next week. Where has the time gone? We're to the closing thought of the episode, and a fitting closing thought for this episode is what I'm about to read you right now. It does not do well to dwell on your dreams and forget to live. Right? Let me say it again. It does not do well to dwell on your dreams and forget to live. We can get caught up in that goal, that mountain that we're trying to climb, and just focus on the peak. When we get to the peak, the things we're going to look back on are the journey, the climb. When I look back at optometry school, when I look back at Saginaw Valley playing football, I recently found a bunch of stuff from middle school. And I kid you not, I am the same person in middle school that I am right now. I read my goals, my aspirations, and they sounded eerily familiar to what I'm doing right now. And I know that a lot of times when I was an undergrad, when I was in grad school, I had blinders on and I just wanted to get to the next stage of life, the next goal. And it's kind of scary, sad, scary, eye-opening as I look at where I'm at right now in life. And I'm going to be 42 this year. My daughter just turned 9. My son turned 3. 2 more kids that are 5 and 7. And my time with my 9-year-old is 2 more years, and I'm not going to be the cool dad anymore. I'm going to be something that she's like, Dad, don't embarrass me, right? And a lot of the things I want to do, like I'm not going to play. I go to a lot of sporting events with my daughter and watch high school kids. And man, I'm not going to do that ever again. The powerlifting meets, it seems unlikely I'm going to set some PRs in the next decade of my life, right? My story's being written. Average lifespan, if I'm lucky, I'm halfway. I'm probably past halfway right now. What do I want to do? I know the things I want to go and accomplish and achieve, but there's also a life I want to live, right? Don't dwell on the dreams so much as that we forget to live. And I honestly think that was from Harry Potter, right? Dumbledore might have said that, right? Take it for what you will, but life is meant to be lived. enjoy the ride, look at where you're at, and realize there was a time in your life when you prayed, dreamed, hoped to be where you're at right now. Live it up, enjoy it. That's what I got. Dr. Lily out.